My name is David and I am making content and videos that will help you to overcome your social anxiety. Someone to experience social anxiety himself, I wish that I had these videos so that I was able to overcome my social anxiety years ago. I basically give you the lessons and everything that you need in order for you to overcome your social anxiety. So if you have social anxiety and if you want to be free from social anxiety, this is the channel for you. It's about 5 a.m. and I have to get ready for school. But I am running super hard towards the traffic light. And as soon as I got in the corner of the traffic light, I waited for the light to be red again so that I can do what I had in mind. What I wanted to do is something crazy so that I can be free from social anxiety. The light is red now. I don't want to do it. I am super nervous. I was thinking about what other people would think about me. I was super anxious and super stressed, super tense. My heart was racing. But I was like, come on, man. It will only take a few minutes of my life. I ran to the middle of the street. There was maybe more than 40 cars in front of me. I got on the floor and started doing push-ups. As I was doing it, I felt super anxious. They must be thinking that I'm a weirdo. They're upset because I got up and ran back into my house, get ready for school. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm ready now. I did this. So therefore, I will be able to make friends and socialize. I am finally free from social anxiety. I got into my school and same thing happened. I felt tense walking around the crowded hallways. I feel like everyone was looking at me, judging me, thinking that I'm a weirdo, stupid, that I was looking ugly, and I was confused. I was like, come on, man, I thought that these crazy social anxiety exercises were gonna help me. I thought that I was gonna be free from social anxiety if I just did this, if I just exposed myself, if I just made a fool of myself. But it didn't happen. You see, for my entire life I always struggle with social anxiety and not be able to make friends. And after watching YouTube videos about social anxiety, I followed their advice. Just approach strangers, man. Just ask people what time it is, and this will help you tremendously. Just do crazy things in public, make full of yourself, and your social anxiety will disappear. It did not work, at least for me. Years later, I understood why. After working with therapists, assistants to seminars, reading books, after I applied everything, finally know the answer about this. So don't get me wrong, I think that it is super important to go out, talk to more people, do the social anxiety exercises, because it has helped me to see people in a different way. But now that I have spoken to strangers, now that I have had amazing moments, beautiful moments, I have laughed, good times with them, my fear has been disappearing. And now, in fact, this feels crazy and weird for me, because now I want to go to places where there's people. Now I want to just go out and talk to people, because now my brain has started to associate people with good moments, with laughs, with fun, with love, because of the experiences that I had. I remember that this time I had to meet my friend's family. He invited me over and I was super anxious. I was thinking, they'll think, who invited this guy? Why is he here? He's a little weird, right? I had all of these things in my mind because I was gonna meet his parents, and I'm not gay, by the way. So it sounds gay. Oh, I'm gonna meet her parents. But you know, it was just, he just invited me over, right? I was gonna meet. And his sister has a boyfriend. So I was like, oh my god, like her boyfriend's gonna think that I'm weird or shit like that, right? But those things were completely lies, and my mind was lying to me. My mind was scamming me. The reality was completely different. They were super nice, they were super open, they were super kind to me, they gave me food and all of that, and had a great moment, especially with his cousin and his sister's boyfriend. We ended up going to like a bar to go and watch, it was a soccer game, and bro, it was a beautiful moment, man. Like those, as someone that grew up with social anxiety, those things are just beautiful, man, because I was like, god damn, I actually had a good time and I was able to be myself with other people. Like that is like something that it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just beautiful, bro. It was a beautiful time. And those times, those experiences, this has given evidence to my brain to be like, oh, maybe people are not that assholes. Maybe people are actually beautiful, amazing. So this is what I mean. The more time that you spend with the strangers and the experiences that you have with them, especially if they are good, your mind will start to change. It will resonate and associate people with laughs, good moments. It will no longer associate people as dangerous or assholes. Because, for example, the reason that I had this is because when I was a little kid, when I was like 4 years old, I started to go to school and I was bullied and humiliated by a bunch of kids my age. As soon as I would get into my school, there was a lot of little kids that would hit me. Well, just because of the color of my skin, right? I'm white, and I was born in Guatemala, so there's not a lot of people white in Guatemala, right? So they would make fun of me, and they would like basically hit me and reject me and humiliate me. They were racist in in an opposite way, right? So this made me believe that people are here to get me, to hate me, to attack me, to hurt me. The more that you are able to go out, the more that I was able to go out, the more that I was able to just be disciplined. To be like, yo, just fucking tell the joke. Just ask the question, bro. Don't be anxious. When I was able to do it regardless of how I felt or what I was thinking, that's when I was able to break through. And that's why I was able to have a different outcome of what I thought that was going to happen. If you have social anxiety, your brain behaves different than someone who's healthy. And don't get me wrong, I have the same fucking brain as you do, right? So we got an anxious brain, so it behaves a little bit different than other people. The more that you are able to collect evidence, and you are able to have basically more movies in your brain about and the good experiences that you had with people, and the more that you are able to recollect them. I have a list of that. Literally, I make a list of the good moments that I had with people, and I have them in names. Maybe I made a joke, I don't know the name of the person, but I make a joke with a stranger, I gave a compliment. I have all of that there. And I like to remember and think about that, because the more that I think about that, the more I associate people with good and experiences. And I guess this has guided me to the point where I'm like, dude, let's go to the club, or let's go to this place, or let's go to the library, because I want to talk to people. Right? It really helps. But at least in my experience, social anxiety did not disappear just by approaching to people, just by talking to more people. Because what you have to understand, and what I had to learn, is that basically social anxiety comes from two problems, right? Which is, oh, I am normal, and I am afraid and I am anxious around people because people are dangerous. People are here together, right? So if you do social anxiety exercises, it will help you in that sense. But for most people, and from my own self, this is why you are just normal, right? And therefore the problem here is you, because there's something wrong with you. So I used to feel anxiety, but also because of me. My entire life, I always thought that I am ugly, I'm not interesting, I am a boring guy, and no one wants to hang out with me, right? Those were the conclusions, those were the things that I used to think about myself. Brother, can you describe yourself? Can you give me a perception of who you are? I'd be like, yes, I got you, man. I'm fucking ugly, I am boring, I don't have anything interesting to say, I am awkward, and no one wants to hang out with me, right? I mean, I feel like I am attractive, right? but basically, just like there's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, that the way that we see ourselves is that we have an inner image, and my inner image was damaged, right? Because of the bad experiences that I had. So basically, that means that when I would go out, when I would go to a party, social event, I would be afraid of speaking to people. Not because people are dangerous, which is the belief that I had. Not because I'm afraid of talking to people because people are mean. I'm afraid of people seeing, and I would fear that they would see something wrong in me. That they would be able to see that I'm not interesting. I was afraid that people will see that I am a boring guy, that no one wants to hang out with me. Therefore, other people will reject me. This is where anxiety kicks in. For the fact that we will be rejected, neglected, we will not receive love because there's something wrong with us. And that's something that I used to think to myself, right? So yes, I could talk to strangers all day long, expose myself, give compliments, ask the questions, ask what time, fucking approach girls, right? And at the end of the day, if I have these thoughts, and if I didn't address them, I would be anxious and nervous around people, right? So what really has helped me a lot, it was this thing of understand and acknowledge that I have a negative voice in my head that is called inner critic, right? Most of the time when I would talk to, especially with cute girls, with pretty girls, I would feel tense, I would feel anxious, because my mind, or at least this part of my mind, would tell me, oh, she's thinking that you're a loser. She can tell that you have no friends. She's just bored right now because you suck, right? For example, I would always feel judged inferior to other guys, or thinking that other people are thinking that I am weird, awkward, stupid, ugly, not good enough, because this voice in my head would be telling all of that to me, right? And it wasn't until I started to work on this voice that really helped me to become less anxious around people. I was not born in the US, and I work in a restaurant where American people go, right? Like white people. So this voice, the devil's voice, the inner critic, would always tell me things like, when you approach the table, they were able to hear your accent, and therefore they are thinking, oh, he's a disgusting immigrant. Why is he in our country? He should go back. I don't want to be eating in a place where there's immigrants working. Right? This sounds crazy, but these were the statements that I used to have, and I would think that these things in my mind were actually true, and they felt true, and therefore I would be anxious working in this place. I would be anxious asking people's questions because they were gonna be judging me because I am an immigrant. There's something wrong with me, right? I am an immigrant, and therefore people will reject me. I am an immigrant, and therefore people will not like me, right? Those were the things that the inner critic, the devil's voice, used to tell me, and these were lies, right? All of these were lies because no one was actually thinking that about me. So the more that I was aware of this voice, the more that I was able to be less anxious around people, because when I would have these negative statements I would have this voice, these negative voices in my head. She can tell you're nervous. She's thinking that you're awkward. Before I would believe them, but now that I see them, I just understand that it's this part of my brain called the inner critic that is judging everything that I say and everything that I do. And that's how I was able to basically make more progress. Is to understand that these voices are not actually true. In fact, if I open myself to possibilities, maybe she's thinking that I'm actually attractive. So I remember that this time I went out to this place. You probably know this place, Chili's, right? And I remember that I went with my brother and his girlfriend, and we basically sat down on a booth, and the server came over. It was a girl. The server came over. She was really cute, really nice as well. She came over. She was like, "Hey, how we doing, guys? This and that." But both of them, my brother and his girl, were like, "Dude, she's actually into you." But since I used to see myself as someone ugly, someone that is not attractive, someone that is not good enough, I'd be like, I don't think that she is. Nah, yeah, she's just being nice because she that's her job. Again, I was blind. I was not able to see that. I was not able to be like, oh yeah, she was actually looking at me. Instead of believing these voices in my head, if I just ignore it, if I was just aware that I had that these voices were coming from the inner critic rather than my brain, and this is actually what she's thinking, I was able to be more confident around people. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like Mercedes-Benz. I'm sorry if I said it the wrong way, but if I think about Mercedes-Benz, that brand. So the more that I was thinking about that, the more that I would see them on the street. Every time that I go out, I'm like, oh shit, Mercedes-Benz. Oh shit, Mercedes-Benz, right? Guess what? Kind of like the same thing happens here. Since you are focused on how people are perceiving you and how people can sense and see that you're a loser, the more you will find evidence that prove this right. Or in person, right? Person, I don't have anything interesting to say. So that means that everything that they do, if they really need to check their phone, right? If I was on a date and she really needed to check her phone because maybe her mom is texting her because someone just died, my mind would tell me, oh, she's doing that because she's not interested in what you're saying, because you are a fucking boring motherfucker. And maybe she actually needed to check her phone, right? But the more that you are able to open yourself to the possibilities and be like, maybe she finds me attractive, I don't know why, you'll be able to see that more. Yeah, she's just being nice because she that's her job. Once again, I was blind. I was not able to see that. I was not able to be like, oh yeah, she was actually looking at me. But the more that I started to change this voice, the more that I'm able to like go out. And I remember, I don't want to make this too long, but I remember that I had, when I just go out and I just change these fucking voices in my head, and I just open myself to possibilities, I'm more open to see whenever a girl is like looking at me. And this, therefore, I don't feel anxious, right? Because like, oh, she's actually into me. If I approach her, I'm gonna get her phone number. And it actually has happened, right? It actually has happened. So the more that you are able to change, to be aware of this voice and change it, and I'm gonna leave the link on the description of the video that I make on how to like change this voice, which is called the inner critic, the devil's voice. If you're able to change this voice, you will be able to be basically less anxious and more confident around people, because you will realize that this voice is actually lying to you. That all of the things that this voice is telling you, you are awkward. Oh, you just had a conversation with someone. Oh, she's thinking that you're weird. Why did you say that? That was not good enough. This voice judges you before you try, meaning you're gonna approach someone, she's gonna reject you. When you are approaching someone, that's not good enough. You shouldn't say that. And after you approach them, you are thinking about the time that you fucked it up, right? This happened to me. So basically, the more that you're able to change this voice in your head, the more that you will be able to be like, oh shit, maybe, just maybe, I'm not that fucking boring guy that I think that I am. Because it's once again, the inner critic is lying to you. So yeah, I just want to leave, and I just want to finish this video with this amazing quote. Social anxiety is an idea, and ideas can be changed. Social anxiety is an idea, a concept, that a set of beliefs. It is not who you are. So since social anxiety is an idea and a perception, guess what? Perceptions can be changed. Ideas can be changed as well. So the more that you're able to change the idea that you are not good enough, that you're weird, that you're boring, the less anxious you will be around people. So that's basically the video.